Since 1991, the country of Somalia has been involved in civil war. Many secessionist movements began, with each group vying for power. Somalia was completely broken, and it looked like that was the way it was going to be for many years to come. The United States of America declared Somalia a failed state in 1995, and completely withdrew from the country. Fast forward to 2019, and Somalia is still fighting rebellions and terrorist groups, with relative safety only being achieved in pockets of the country. A new elected government presides over Mogadishu and surrounding areas, but holds very little power outside of the bubble of Hamar. Needless to say, the government system in Somalia is extremely broken. In this video, I am going to explain why I believe it is broken, and what can be done to fix it. Somalia's government has made much progress in the few years of its existence. Its last president, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, presided over the most turbulent time in the second half of the civil war, namely, while Al-Shabaab was still a force to be reckoned with. He, along with the rest in power, has his critics, but Somalis cannot deny that Mohamud's government spearheaded development and stability in the city of Mogadishu, and helped lead many offensives against Al-Shabaab in Baydhabo and Beledweyne. Mahmud's government negotiated the autonomous region's rights to remain independent in all but name until the civil war ends, and created many federal departments that are still functioning today. In 2017, after 2 parliamentary elections, President Mohamud graciously accepted defeat and peacefully transferred power to the new president, Mohammed Abdullahi Mohammed Farmajo. This was the first time since 1967 that a peaceful transition of power occurred in Somalia, and both parties are to be commemorated for it. By Mohamud accepting defeat, he avoided more useless conflict for power in Somalia, and set an example for future generations. When Farmajo took power in 2017, he took Mohamud's policies one step further, by opening the government to suggestions from the people. With the people actually having a say in the government, fighting nearly ceased so that people could use their voices instead of their guns. Schools, roads, and institutions were opened across the Mogadishu area, and relative safety began in the city, which had not been peaceful since the 1980s. Now here's the key thing. All of the good things that have happened due to the government have only happened in Mogadishu. In other parts of Somalia, the autonomous regions are responsible for all of the good developments happening. Puntland's government is responsible for building the highway from Bosaso to Galkayo. Galmudug's government is responsible for revitalizing the whole city of Dosa Marib. Jubbaland's government is responsible for the institutions opening up in Kismayo. Different autonomous regions acting as countries are responsible for this. This is the reason why Somalia's government has no power. It acts as if it is the unitary government of the country. Even with Somalia's official name stating that it is a federal republic, Somalia's government acts as if the autonomous regions belong to the government, which is fair considering they were once all the same country, but also not fair in this day and age because it leaves decision-making to a small elite group far away from the actual zone where the decision needs to be made is. Mogadishu's residents do not want a leader from Haradere coming to them with solutions. Mogadishu's residents want a Mogadishan leader coming to them with solutions. It's the same with other areas. Somalilanders don't want somebody from the capital of Somalia telling them how to deal with their problems. That's why they made their own country. Same with the rest of the autonomous regions. The only way to fix the power struggle is to actually become a true federation. Take Russia, for example. Russia has a system where 22 of the administrative divisions in the country are actually considered their own republics with their own constitutions, state governments, and official languages, like Mordovia, Altai, and Dagestan, to name a few. More power downloaded into the states would appease them and compel them not to leave, as seen with Quebec in Canada. Canada is a bilingual country, but in the province of Quebec, the sole official language is French, and Quebec handles their own immigration policies instead of the Canadian Ministry of Immigration. A hybrid of the Canadian and Russian systems could work in Somalia, as Somaliland wants republic status as of now, and the other states want to be elevated as federal subjects to the Somali government. That way, each state could write their own constitution and have their own official languages. For example, Aftunni, Barawa, Bajuni, and Somali being official languages of the state of Jubaland. In my opinion, this is what Somalia should do to assure power is not concentrated in Mogadishu. The autonomous regions of Somaliland, Puntland, Galmudug, Hirshabelle, Konfur Galbeed, and Jubaland, as well as the actual region of Benadir, should become states. But unlike states in other parts of the world, the federal government's president and senators have no say in state laws and cannot overturn or repeal any state laws without the other state's approval. State laws can only be repealed by a majority of votes in parliament by MPs from the other states. Senators are not allowed a say in state laws, only federal laws. By doing this, the only people stopping the governors in power of their states are the people of Somalia, not the federal government. The governors, if they truly cared about the people, would be more inclined to listen to the people who put them there, instead of defying the federal government. Also, laws should be implemented that state leaders who abuse their power should receive a federal prison sentence to deter leaders from abusing their citizens. States should continue taking infrastructure development into their own hands, while the federal government should focus more on developing a stronger, well-paid, uncorrupted military for security within the country. By delegating tasks like this, Somalia's government no longer has to worry about the day-to-day governance of the Benadir area and can focus more on its military, international trade, diplomacy, and internal regulations, while the states get more power over their territory while also having internal trade affairs, policy making, and general governance in their hands. In a more federated state, Somalia would thrive, as different people from different states could move more freely around the country while also maintaining their state's nationalism. The famous Somalilander nationalism would not need to die if they came back to a federated Somalia. They could be as proud as ever, the same way a Jubalander or Puntlander would be. In this way, we can unite Somalia once again and become the powerful nation we used to be.